Dear students, today we are going to discuss two concepts. Number one, equilibrium constant for heterogeneous equilibrium. Number two, applications of equilibrium constant. So two things we are going to complete today. First one, how to write equilibrium constant for the heterogeneous equilibrium reactions. Consider a reaction. Calcium carbonate substance is dissociated to produce calcium oxide substance with the liberation of carbon dioxide gas. This is an example of heterogeneous reaction. If you observe the reaction, reactant is in solid state, products, one is in the solid state, another is in the gaseous state. So in a reaction, if reactants and products are in the different phases, we call them as heterogeneous reactions. So in this reversible reaction, if equilibrium is reached, we call this as heterogeneous equilibrium. For this heterogeneous equilibrium reaction, how to write equilibrium constant? We know that equilibrium constant Kc is the ratio of product of concentration of products to the product of concentration of reactants, and each concentration term is raised to certain exponential power. So already we studied the 3 more question. What is the equilibrium constant? So we know the definition. So this is the ratio of concentration of products. So what are the products? Calcium oxide, a solid substance, and one more product, carbon dioxide gas. So equilibrium constant is the ratio of product of concentration of products to the product of concentration of reactant. We have reactant calcium carbonate solid and its concentration. For each substance, what is the coefficient? 1. So exponential power value 1. So equilibrium constant for the heterogeneous equilibrium reaction is written. So here we have the concentration of solid substances, calcium oxide and calcium carbonate. Generally in case of pure solids and pure liquids, concentration will be constant because the molecules are closely packed. What about gaseous molecules? Gaseous molecules are escaping, randomly they are moving, right? But in case of solids as well as liquids, the molecules are closely packed. Easily the molecule will not escape. So the movement of gaseous molecules will be in a random manner. At the same time, solids as well as liquids cannot escape from the container. So pure solids as well as pure liquids whose concentration is always constant. So we take pure solids as well as liquids. The concentration is a constant value. We assume the value as 1. So whenever we use concentration of pure solids and liquids in the equilibrium constant formula, the value will be a constant value which is 1. So we can rearrange this equilibrium constant. Equilibrium constant can be rearranged. This is a pure solid calcium oxide as well as pure solid calcium carbonate. Concentration is constant, so value 1. So Kc is equal to concentration of carbon dioxide gas. Equilibrium constant is depending on the concentration of only carbon dioxide. Will not depend on the concentration of pure solids, calcium oxide as well as calcium carbonate. So this is the way of writing equilibrium constant for the heterogeneous equilibrium reactions. So this is first example. The same way we can take one more example. Carbon dioxide combines with water. So we pass carbon dioxide gas in liquid water. We prepare soda water, isn't it? We get carbonic acid. So when carbon dioxide gas is passed in liquid water, we get H2CO3 carbonic acid, which will be in the form of H plus and the bicarbonate anion, aqueous. So this is an example of heterogeneous equilibrium reaction, because the reactants and products are in the different phases: gaseous phase, liquid phase, and solution form, aqueous form. So write equilibrium constant. As usual, in the numerator we write the concentration of products, H plus, aqueous solution. Next, one more product is bicarbonate ion, concentration of bicarbonate ion, and its nature is aqueous. In the denominator we mention the concentration of reactants. We have carbon dioxide gas and liquid water. So what about concentration of pure solids and liquids? Always constant value 1. So we won't consider concentration of water in the denominator, right? So this concentration value is 1. So this is equilibrium constant Kc for this heterogeneous equilibrium reaction. Okay. So like this, equilibrium constant Kc as well as Kp can be written for any equilibrium reactions. In our book, some examples are given. We take sulfur trioxide formation. So all the molecules are gaseous state. Sulfur dioxide gas combines with oxygen, it forms sulfur trioxide gas. This is an example of homogeneous or heterogeneous equilibrium reaction. Homogeneous equilibrium reaction, the reactants and the product is in the same phase. So as usual we write equilibrium constant Kc is equal to concentration of product. Sulfur trioxide is the product. Totally we have 2 moles. So power 2, exponential power 2. Usually the coefficient will be mentioned as the exponential power. We have 2 reactants. One is sulfur dioxide gas, another one is oxygen gas. And what about the coefficient of sulfur dioxide and oxygen? For sulfur dioxide coefficient 2, so exponential power 2. Oxygen 1. So this is equilibrium constant in terms of molar concentration for the homogeneous equilibrium reaction. Next, formation of silver nitrate. Take silver oxide, solid substance, which is added with aqueous ammonia solution. It forms silver nitrate solution. So silver nitrate aqueous solution with the liberation of water. So this is an example of heterogeneous equilibrium reaction, because reactants and the products are in the different phases. We write equilibrium constant Kc. In the numerator we will mention concentration of the products, silver nitrate, aqueous solution, 2 moles of or 2 molecules of silver nitrate, so exponential power 2. One more product is water in liquid state, coefficient 1. Next, in the denominator concentration of reactants, silver oxide, a solid substance, and ammonia gas dissolved in water, so aqueous solution of ammonia. So this is a theoretical formula. Then we have to remove these 2 quantities. Why? So pure liquid, pure solid. Always concentration of pure solid and liquid will be a constant value 1. So just remove these 2 concentration terms. Then this is the equilibrium constant for the above heterogeneous equilibrium reaction. Next, carbon monoxide is converted into carbon dioxide. This is an example of homogeneous or heterogeneous equilibrium reaction. Heterogeneous. 2 substances are in gaseous phase, 1 substance is in solid phase. So heterogeneous equilibrium reaction, as usual, equilibrium constant Kc is equal to concentration of product, carbon dioxide gas, and the concentration of solid carbon divided by concentration of reactant carbon monoxide gas 2 moles. Now this quantity will be a constant. So pure solids will have a constant equilibrium constant value. Okay. So just remove this. This is the Kc value, equilibrium constant value for the above heterogeneous equilibrium reaction. So all these are 3 more questions. So they will give any 3 equations. For that you have to write equilibrium constant. So this concept is over. Next we move into a 5 more question. Applications of equilibrium constant. If a reversible reaction reaches equilibrium, we calculate the equilibrium constant. So using concentration we can write equilibrium constant Kc, or using partial pressure for the gaseous equilibrium reaction we may write Kp. Using molar concentration Kc can be calculated. Using partial pressure for gaseous equilibrium reaction Kp can be found. So what is the application? What are the applications of equilibrium constant? First application, which is used to predict extent of the reaction. So already in the introduction part we discussed a rate of reaction is predicted by chemical kinetics. Feasibility of the reaction is predicted by thermodynamics. Extent of the reaction is predicted by chemical equilibrium. So equilibrium constant is useful to find the extent of the reaction. Second application is to predict the direction of the reaction. Third application is to find equilibrium equilibrium concentration. So before reaction starts, there is a concentration for reactant. It's called the initial concentration. If reaction is completed, product will have a concentration. If equilibrium is reached, means we will have both reactant as well as product in the mixture. We call it as equilibrium mixture. So at equilibrium, we can find equilibrium concentration of reactant and the product using the Kc value. So these 3 are the applications of equilibrium constant. So one by one we will complete. First, extent of the reaction. What is the meaning of extent of the reaction means? In a reversible process, if equilibrium is reached, using the equilibrium constant, what is the tendency of the reaction? Right? So how much yield can be obtained? So all these informations can be obtained. So this is called the extent of the reaction. Extent of the reaction means up to what extent the reaction will go. Then how much yield of product can be obtained. So these informations can be obtained from equilibrium constant. First, if equilibrium constant value is greater than 10 power 3, then in the reaction, concentration of product will be more than the concentration of reactant. So take first condition. We measure the equilibrium constant for the equilibrium reaction. In the equilibrium mixture, concentration of a product is more than the concentration of reactant, which represents what? Equilibrium is trying to shift towards the right hand side. If you take example, formation of hydrochloric acid. So this is at temperature of 300 Kelvin. So at 300 Kelvin, equilibrium is reached. We mix hydrogen and chlorine gases to produce hydrogen chloride gas at 300 Kelvin. We measure the equilibrium constant as 4 into 10 power 31. So for the formation of hydrogen chloride at 300 Kelvin, we have measured equilibrium constant Kc value as 4 into 10 power 31. Now the value is more than 10 power 3. So whenever equilibrium constant value is greater than 10 power 3 means in the equilibrium mixture, the product will be in more quantity. Concentration of a product will be more than the concentration of reactant. So this is the condition. If equilibrium constant is greater than 10 power 3, product concentration will be more than the reactant concentration, which represents reaction is trying to move towards the right hand side. So forward reaction will be forward, right? Important one more question. So for this condition, forward reaction will be forward, right? Next condition, if equilibrium constant is less than 10 power minus 3, if the value is less than 10 power minus 3 means concentration of reactant will be more than the concentration of product. For that we can take an example. So in our book, for each category 2 examples are given. So for this second case, we take decomposition of water. Now the reaction is taking place at 500 Kelvin. We measured the equilibrium constant Kc value as 4.1 into 10 power minus 48. So if Kc value is less than 10 power minus 3, see that 10 power minus 48. So for the decomposition of water, Kc value is 4.1 into 10 power minus 48. So like these equilibrium reactions, if Kc value is less than 10 power minus 3 means concentration of reactant will be more than the concentration of product. So the reaction will be favored towards reverse side, backward side. More than 10 power 3 means forward side reaction will be favored. Less than 10 power minus 3 means backward reaction or reverse reaction will be favored. One more question. Now, third case. If the Kc value is greater than 10 power minus 3 at the same time less than 10 power 3. So third case. So here a significant amount of reactant and the product will be there. We cannot predict exactly. Reaction will move towards forward or backward side. Okay. So if this is the condition, we cannot predict exact extent of the reaction. Whether reaction will move towards forward side or left, reverse side. Because almost equal amount of reactant and product will be there. In the previous cases, we can find any one component will be in larger quantity, either reactant or product. Based on that, we can predict extent. So if the value is in between the 10 power minus 3 and 10 power 3, significant amount of reactant and product will be there. The direction or the extent cannot be predicted. For this, we can take example of hydrogen iodide formation. Formation of hydrogen iodide, Kc value is 57. So the value is in between 10 power minus 3 and 10 power 3. So in this case, you will have approximately equal quantity of reactant and the product. We cannot predict extent of the reaction, whether the equilibrium will shift towards forward side or reverse side, which side will be favored, cannot be predicted using this Kc value. So equilibrium constant is useful to find the extent of the reaction using the value. Okay. The first application over. What is the second application? Direction of the reaction can be predicted. Using the Kc value, direction of the reaction can be predicted. For that, we take the same general equation. X moles of A combines with Y moles of B provides L moles of product C and M moles of product D. For this general reaction, this is a general reversible reaction. Before attaining equilibrium, before reaching equilibrium, we calculate a ratio. So under non-equilibrium condition, Q is a ratio of product of concentration of the products to the product of concentration of reactants. So under non-equilibrium condition, we write Q, which is the ratio of product of concentration of products to the product of concentration of reactants, and each term is raised to an exponential power. Now this Q is called a reaction quotient. Public 2 mark. What is reaction quotient? Reaction quotient is the ratio of product of concentration of products to the product of concentration of reactants, and each term is raised to an exponential power. Before reaching equilibrium, we write it. Okay. After reaching equilibrium means the same will be replaced by Kc. If equilibrium is reached means Q is nothing but what? Kc, equilibrium constant. Reaction quotient will be changed as equilibrium constant. So under non-equilibrium condition, we measure Q value. Under equilibrium condition, we calculate Kc value. So there are three conditions. Number one, if Q value is equal to Kc means now the reaction reaches equilibrium. As I said, Q is replaced by Kc means reaction reaches equilibrium. So if both the values are equal means reaction already attained equilibrium. Second case, Q value is greater than Kc. Under non-equilibrium condition, you are calculating Q value. After reaching equilibrium, you are calculating Kc value. So Q is greater than Kc means, which represents reaction is proceeding towards reverse side. Okay. So direction of the reaction will be reverse side. Then third condition, if Q value is less than Kc means reaction is moving towards forward side. So Q is equal to Kc, equilibrium. Q is greater than Kc. Reverse or backward direction will be favored. If Q is less than Kc means forward reaction will be favored. So this is the application of equilibrium constant. Using the Kc value and the Q value, we can predict the direction of the reaction. Okay. So this is 3 more question. How will you predict the direction of the reaction using reaction quotient and the equilibrium constant? Based on that, we have two problems, solved problems. Problem number 1. Formation of hydrogen iodide. Hydrogen and iodine gases are combining to produce a hydrogen iodide gas. Now concentration is given. Concentration of hydrogen, concentration of iodine, concentration of hydrogen iodide. All the three values I have already given in the question. This is 0.2, 0.2, 0.6. Unit mole per liter. Next. Equilibrium constant Kc value is given. Equilibrium constant Kc value is 48 at 717 Kelvin. Now the question is, you have to predict direction of the reaction. So an equilibrium reaction is given. For the equilibrium reaction, equilibrium constant is given as 48 at 717 Kelvin. Concentration of reactant as well as product is given. Under non-equilibrium condition, you just calculate Q value. Q value is not given. Calculate Q value. You relate Q value with the Kc, you can predict the direction of the reaction. So what is Q? Is the ratio of product of concentration of products to the product of concentration of reactants. So we have product hydrogen iodide 2 moles, reactants hydrogen gas and iodine gas, both are 1 moles. We know the concentration of product 0.6 over 2. Reactants concentration 0.2 to 0.2. So the answer is 9. So Q value is less than Kc. So what is the direction of the reaction? Reaction is proceeding towards forward side. So which reaction will be favored? Forward reaction will be favored. Second problem. decomposition of nitrogen tetroxide, dinitrogen tetroxide is decomposed to produce 2 molecules of nitrogen dioxide. Kc value is given as 0.21 at 373 Kelvin. Concentration of reactant dinitrogen tetroxide is given as 0.125 mole per decimeter cube, and the product nitrogen dioxide concentration is given as 0.5 mole per decimeter cube. So we have to calculate reaction quotient Q. In the numerator, concentration of product is nitrogen dioxide 2 moles. In the denominator, concentration of reactant dinitrogen tetroxide. So the value is 0.5 square divided by 0.125. So the answer is 2. Q value is 2. Q value is greater than Kc. Right? Kc value is 0.21. So comparing Kc value, Q value is larger one. So if Q value is greater than Kc means the reaction is proceeding towards the reverse direction. The reaction is proceeding towards reverse direction. So out of 3 applications, today we have completed 2 applications. Finding the extent of the reaction and direction of the reactions. Tomorrow we will start finding equilibrium concentrations of reactants and products. Okay, so with this today's class over. Thank you.